So our very, very late Andor review.
Yeah. Long
Um,
awaited.
yeah. So we're not we because we didn't get a chance to get on the other day. We are now talking the final 6 episodes. So kind of just talking the seasons as a whole.
Yeah.
Um, but before we do that, before we get into talking about the season, there was some news today.
Okay.
So we got Emmy nominations, and generally speaking, I don't care anything about Emmy nominations. Especially we don't talk about them a lot because we mostly cover genre film, genre TV, which are usually get snubbed. Regardless of how good they are. See Robert Downey Jr. never winning an award for anything in the MCU.
Right.
So Andor did pull 14 Emmy nominations. Now, the Acolyte also pulled an Emmy nomination, and everybody's like, all the people are like, oh, see, now it's an Emmy nominated series. It's legitimate now. It's like, you got a sound design. ILM getting a sound design nomination
should be par for the course.
Just like a given, right?
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things that Star Wars consistently. Speaking of, we're gonna get to meet like the head guy, like
Matthew Wood,
the head ILM.
Lucasfilm. Yeah.
Like their head sound designer over at ILM is coming to Dragon Con, so we're super excited about that. But Andor received 14 nominations. Outstanding writing for a drama series, outstanding special visual effects in a season or movie, outstanding sound mixing. So it 2 Star Wars shows with nominations in that particular category. Outstanding sound editing, outstanding drama series, outstanding character voiceover performance, and I would have to look to see who actually Alan Tudyk. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, which totally deserved.
Outstanding guest actor in a drama series.
Silence it.
I'm gonna have to.
But, the joys of being the caretaking.
I don't even know where I was. Outstanding music composition for a series.
Which, definitely fair.
Music was solid. Outstanding picture editing. Outstanding director. It is all 4 drama series, by the way. Outstanding fantasy and sci-fi costumes, which it absolutely should win.
Yeah, I think
outstanding cinematography for a series. If it doesn't win that, I mean, there's some strong competition. But in an outstanding production design for a narrative, period, or fantasy program.
Man, the production design, like the costumes were great, but the production design was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. And here's me, Ma, again. So let me go see what she needs. I'll be back.
All right. But the big one, of course, is that it did receive the nomination for outstanding drama series. So that is the one everybody's aiming for. That is one of the biggest, most important nominations for the Emmys. Hopefully Marisha will be back in a minute because man, I got stuff happening on my screen that but anyway, what did everybody think about the nominations, the Emmy nominations? And yes, let's see. Ubaldo says we need to do the Saturn Award. Yeah, so this year the Saturn Awards kind of snuck up on me. I did vote, but the rest of it kind of snuck up on me. That was kind of during our hiatus from doing the show, unfortunately. And so we didn't manage to pull it together in time to do that. But this coming year, we will definitely host a watch party again for the Saturn Awards. That was a lot of fun when we did that last year.
She found her keys.
Oh, good.
Everyone.
She had to call both of us to tell us that.
Yeah.
And she does know how to text.
She does.
We could have done the funniest thing, and we could have had Daniel caller if he's
That
still
would have
here
been
in the chat.
hilarious.
Say, what do you want? You're interrupting the podcast.
Next time.
But we will do the Saturn Awards again. Absolutely. So what do you think? Oh, so what do you think about the Emmy nominations? It got some big ones.
Yeah, I think that if they don't win production design, they've been robbed. I do think that there are some other good contenders for costumes, but I think that these were the best ones. But there are a couple of others that if they won, I wouldn't be shocked.
Okay. Like what?
I mean, Rings of Power. No, Rings of Power had some costumes, but they weren't my favorites. But I do think that yeah, Rings of Power. I'm sorry. Okay, so the fact that the Wheel of Time has the ring thing going, the Rings of Power, when I'm talking about both of them, sometimes I say the wrong thing. Yeah, I think that Rings of Power had some pretty great costumes, but I don't think they were quite as innovative as the ones on Andor. I think the Andor costumes were a little more original.
Yeah.
So we'll see though.
They look good. So I think that the one thing that this show, so there were a number of actors that I could have seen receiving nominations for supporting. I really don't think that Luthen had anything that topped last season. He was minimized a little bit more this season. So Skarsgård, but he was still great. Like Skarsgård's like always going to steal the scene when he's on screen. But how did Genevieve O'Reilly not receive a nomination?
Right. She was just phenomenal.
Yeah. Now, the real telling thing is, again, genre films, genre shows tend to get snubbed, especially Star Wars. Star Wars has a long history of nominations and then basically being written off as, well, it's just Star Wars.
Yeah, and they tend to get nominated for things like production design, costumes, almost
John
never.
Williams scores, which he never wins for.
But
that should tell you everything you need to know about genre films getting snubbed. Is that John Williams score? Will write a Star Wars score, get nominated,
and
not win, and just because it's a Star Wars,
right? Like, oh no, he wrote one of the most iconic scores of the decade, but it's only Star Wars, so who cares? Again, right? However, genre films do tend to get snubbed, especially in actor categories, like no Best Actor nominations, no Best Actress nominations, which is, not surprising. I would be curious which shows actually got nominated for Best Actor and Actress. One now wants to know. Lead actress: Matlock, Bad Sisters, Severance, The Last of Us, and The Diplomat. I mean, okay, but really? Like, Kerry Russell's a good actress, and she did a great job in The Diplomat, but not Genevieve O'Reilly in Andor level impressive.
Yeah. Well, the thing is they're going to fawn. I suspect that the entirety of the actual award show, the winners, they're just going to spend the whole show fawning over Severance. I mean, it got like 20 nominations.
Yeah.
And it, on one hand, it's still kind of a genre film, genre show. So like on one hand, like when you look down this list, you can go, okay, like sci-fi films are definitely not as on the fringe as they used to be.
Although Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey both got nominated for The Last of Us.
Oh, nobody cares.
I'm friends with the costume designer for the first 7 seasons of Walking Dead, and she was like, look, The Last of Us, it looks just like this. she all these people on the internet have made comparisons of all the costumes from The Last of Us. It looked just like the costumes from from Walking Dead. Like, yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
So let's see. So now we can move on into Andor. I just thought it was worth mentioning as we were talking about it. It received 14 Emmy nominations. That's impressive. I don't suspect it's going to win very many of those.
Yeah,
like it should win Best Drama Series, but it does have some stiff competition.
Yeah.
Also, why do we lump? I still don't necessarily understand why a lot of the awards lump drama and comedy
as opposed to what?
When we nominate, so a lot of those nominations are for drama or comedy series. Like,
is that just scripted? Is that what it's?
Maybe, but like you can be talking two vastly different things.
Yeah.
And then how are you supposed to compare them?
Right. I guess that's just sort of the nature of the beast, apples and oranges all the time, all day, every day.
Yeah. But let's talk Andor. And like I said, I said this when we were doing 3 episodes at a time, doing 6 at a time. Forget it. I'm not going to get that many. I'm going to miss a lot of moments here. So let's just talk about our thoughts on. So one for me, as good as last season ended, I've said it a lot of times, first season 1 of Andor started very slowly for me. Now that we're done, I do want to go back and rewatch, and maybe it won't feel that way to me again. But Andor, like the last half of the first season, is just so good. And it just gets better with each successive episode. And then somehow it takes off running this season, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. Now, I think some of the best moments in this whole season were probably like episode 8. Like the Gorman massacre is we left off I think our last review, like we were
episode 7. We just watched episode 7.
Well, we didn't review it. We reviewed 6. So we had not really talked. We knew Gorman's like a thing, like it's coming, but in fact, I think we had gone to Gorman earlier in the season. So we had talked a little bit about it, and what's coming. And they still found a way to fill that entire episode, that entire arc with so much drama. There's so much happening. The stuff that's happening, I think probably the best way to talk about this, because I love the season. Like, I see a lot of calls. This is what Star Wars should be. I don't need all Star Wars to be this. I don't want all Star Wars to be this. Like, I still love things like Skeleton Crew. Like, to me, Skeleton Crew is way more traditional George Lucas style Star Wars than really almost anything they've done.
Yeah.
Since Disney took over. It captures all of the things that George Lucas was trying to capture with the original.
Right.
Like it's really a revisiting of just the entire idea of what Star Wars was going to be.
Right.
So I love that. And I love that we got them both this year. So that you have them and you can look at them side by side and you can go, okay, so I don't need Star Wars to be all Andor, but like some of it can be, that. Like, and I can't wait to see like what they decide to do next. I never thought that Tony Gilroy would want to come back and do Star Wars. I don't know that he does. Like, he may be done with Star Wars after this, but he seems to have been bitten by the bug a little bit. He has spoke very kindly of Skeleton Crew as well. So, like I want more of this. When Andor first started, I was like, I don't know that I want Star Wars to be this, but it's too good. It's too there's no denying how powerful this story was,
and it does such a great job setting up Rogue One.
And I watched bits and pieces of it. The transition, I don't know of any, like, the transition into that movie is seamless.
Yeah.
Like it looks like, gosh, that last scene with Andor walking to the ship, he's heading on the mission where we meet him in Rogue One, and that the transition from seeing him there to seeing him when we first meet him in Rogue One, it's completely seamless. Despite the years in between, they pulled that off so well. Like the costume, like everything, even down to the hair. And it's funny because, like, in that last episode, he's kind of, his hair is different when we kind of see him in that first see him in that last episode. You go, the hair's wrong. Like, and it's like, and then he goes out in the rain, and then all of a sudden it's like, and now the hair is exactly what it needs to be. It's like, attention to detail, it was just phenomenal. And
absolutely.
It really changes Rogue One though, because now Jen felt like she was the main character and Cassian is just there as a support character. But this really elevates him to at least an equal in the character we care about, and maybe puts him over the top because, we know Cassian so much better than we know Jen now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I see Andor is a trilogy, season 1, 2, and then Rogue One.
It's a very fair way to look at it.
Yeah.
I am interested. Supposedly they mastered some of this stuff for theater, and then they have not done a theater release. I don't know why. I would absolutely drive the 90 miles to a theater to watch. If they said we're going to release all 4 arcs of season 2 of Andor one a week for the next 4 weeks, I would drive somewhere to go watch each of the arcs in the theater.
Yeah, it was. So whenever I saw Rogue One, it was like, wow, what a great prequel, because I felt like they brought very similar to what you were saying. They did the thing where it flows right into A New Hope.
Yeah.
And like you buy it as like, and this ends and this starts, and the fact that they managed to pull this off with the prequel to the prequel is phenomenal.
Well, not just pull that off, but continue to elevate the story.
Well, like now, you realize what he's a person with real things that he's not just a lone wolf who dies and it's sad. It's like he's a person with people who care about him, who with all of these people around him, and that's more compelling.
Yeah. So, characters. What characters did you like most this season? Or as a whole, through the whole series?
I feel like, speaking of elevating characters, like Mon Mothma went from like the sort of faceless, like the really stoic, calm face of the rebellion that we see 3 times in the original series, to somebody who you realize how much they have sacrificed for this cause. And that's, you know, really, I mean, she's definitely one of my favorites in this series. I mean, obviously I think Cassian has to take the cake because, man, Diego Luna just brought it.
Yeah.
He just did such a phenomenal job. And honestly, the fact that he didn't get nominated for an Emmy is kind of bunk.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, really, he was just so incredibly well done. And man, how much character development. You know, like we saw so much character development in the course of this series.
Yeah. I mean, so we see him. So let's talk about a moment here where we meet the Force healer, and let's just go with she's just a Force healer. We don't get any indication that she was a Jedi or anything like that. Like she's not out there fighting on the front line. She's loading boxes, you know, and then healing people in her spare time. But what did you think of what she has to say about Cassian?
It's very cryptic, but I think it works because, you know, she's seeing pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we have and I really did appreciate that they brought in just the tiniest bit of that mystical element because Rogue One is so like reality based.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, other than what little bit we get through Chirrut. Really not even his buddy who doesn't really like,
right.
You know, it's in death that he sort of embraces.
So really that we get just a little, I think that ties it into Star Wars. Just that little bit of interaction with that Force healer.
I agree.
It reminds you that this is, and we started having more frequent, you know, comments of "May the Force be with you." You know, it's kind of something that kind of starts, which, and I feel like as you kind of see the trajectory for the rebellion, it started off as this very gritty, practical thing, and sort of was able to grow into this idealistic, you know, in the service of good kind of world that Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia kind of land in, you know. And I feel like it's very believable. The way that they worked all of this together is very believable.
Yeah. So I do appreciate they didn't feel the need necessarily, you know, there are a lot of people around right now. Like we're getting into the territory of like, we actually know quite a few characters that are running around out there at this point. And I do appreciate, because there are some people that make Star Wars movies that would have been tempted to put all of those people. The Ghost crew would have needed to have made an appearance, and we would have needed to see Leia, and we probably would have even had to like check in and see what Obi-Wan's doing in the hours before. Like, you know, I appreciated that we didn't need to pull in people that didn't absolutely need to be there.
Right. And I was unamused with recasting Bail Organa, but he did a great job.
Yeah, Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah, I feel like, especially since we saw Bail Organa in the prequels, we saw Bail Organa in Rogue One, you know, and like inserting another actor in there for like the 5 minutes, you know, before it all goes down. I was like, oh, why even? But after having seen it, I feel better about it. And
Well,
he did a great
you
job.
it's really the birth of the rebellion proper.
Right.
And you can't do that. We've even through the multiple tellings and multiple variations of this moment,
Yeah.
Bale's always there.
Yeah.
Like Bale is at this point, like the senators that we have around, they kind of suck.
Yeah, they kind of do.
And that was consistent. They're that way in Rogue One as well. They are not down with going and fighting this battle on Scarif. They're just and even I'm a little torn, but like even what's his name? Bale. A little bit of a coward here at this point in time. Like, we're not ready. Like, let's just keep waiting until we're ready.
Right.
But the other two are just full on cowards. They're not willing to fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would actually be curious for a story to eventually tell us what happens to those characters post Rogue One. Do they finally say, okay, maybe we can do this?
I mean, I think once the Empire blows up Alderaan, Bale is gone. They've killed one of their leaders. I think that they've now reached the point where they can't. Like it's now or never.
Yeah, but this is Senators Pomlo and Jebel were the ones that I'm talking about that are there in the meeting room, and like even Radis is just not really ready to fight.
Yeah,
like, and at some point it's like, what are we doing here? Like, y'all are sitting here in the comfort of Yavin, building your rebellion, while people like Luthen and even Saw are doing the lifting, doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
And it's like Cassian's like, there's a little bit of belittling of Luthen that goes on in that last moment. And you see Cassian step up and say, no, I'm not gonna stand here and listen to you.
Especially after how pissed he's been at Luthen pretty much the entire time.
Right.
Like, Luthen makes him madder than anybody else.
Yeah, but it's in Luthen's death that he fully embraces his role.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of Luthen in those last few moments.
Yeah, and that's kind of who he is in Rogue One. He's the person who's going to do the thing that no one else is willing to do. Because it has to be done. Whatever it costs me personally. Because he was never, and I that is not what I expected. I'm not going to spoil it in case anybody hasn't seen it, but I was really surprised the direction they went with Bix.
Yeah.
I expected,
I thought she would die.
I totally thought she was going to die. Yeah. And
I love the ending.
Yes.
I love that final note because because you're looking at this and what's the final note of Rogue One?
Hope.
Yes. So how do you do that same final note? Like, are you going to leave it dark, or are you going to give that, because it's really the whole point of Star Wars.
Yes.
Is hope. And
honestly, that's the thing that I loved, is that they managed to tell a very grounded story with that moment.
With all of the terrible things happening, with the rebellion is about to become very, very real. It's not that it hasn't been real, but it's we're
getting worse. It's going to get way worse.
Well, we're fixing to go to war. It's no longer terrorist attacks and things like that. Like, we're fixing to go to war.
Yeah.
Like, this is fixing to be no longer be hidden cells.
Right.
Hitting targets of opportunity. It's about to be army versus army coming to blows.
Right.
So in that moment, where do you find hope? And I think they pulled that off perfectly. It's a little bittersweet.
Yeah.
But it's really the first time we see a real smile from Bix since the beginning of season 1.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been through some stuff.
Yeah. So
yeah, just so well done. Just unexpectedly well done.
I mean, I expected it to be well done, but it's like
but the story was unexpectedly satisfying.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, you know how it ends.
You know how it ends. So how do you still give satisfying moments?
Like, you know which of these people make it to the end of the story, and you have a pretty good idea that everybody else is disposable for the purposes of this story.
Right.
And speaking of characters that did not have the ending I expected, how about Cyril?
Cyril is like maybe the most tragic character in all of Star Wars. Like right up there with Jar Jar Binks with that story ending they wrote where he's like basically a court jester, entertaining kids on Naboo as refugee kids. Like, this is worse. There's this moment, like, he has pursued this. He has spent years at this point pursuing Cassian Andor. It's his only thing. Like, that is his driving force. Yep. And Cassian looks him in the eyes in the last moment and says, "Who are you?" And you see it. He gives up. He just loses all composure before he's shot.
Yeah.
Because it's like this one thing, like all he wanted was to be noticed for doing a good job. That's all Cyril wanted. And to have the person you've been hunting for all this time look at you and say, "I don't even know who you are."
Right.
Wow. And the only, and then, I mean, honestly, Dedra's just about as tragic because I kept going, because I kept thinking Cyril was like having some moments of like, am I really still on board? And he's kind of not. He is appalled at what he's witnessing on Gorman. Completely and totally appalled.
Right.
But in this moment of all is lost, he sees a moment to complete his task. But Dedra, like, this moment of like, is she going to have a change of heart? And then she's not capable.
Right.
She sees it all too.
And she's not happy about it.
Yeah.
But what's she going to do? She's brainwashed.
She's completely and totally brainwashed. She cannot imagine a life not serving the Empire.
And like I said, whenever just a little passing comment that she was raised in an Imperial Kinderblock, it was like,
yeah,
oh, shit. Yeah. I mean, she's not just like sold this bill of goods. She's had it crammed down her throat. I mean, she's probably had, like we've seen subliminal messaging they're playing to stormtroopers when they're sleeping. I mean, she's probably had that going her entire life. And she basically grew up in the Red Room.
Yeah. So those two characters, like, now the thing is, like, season 1, I just didn't care that much about either character.
Yeah. But
they made me care about the story for each of those characters. But man, they have a tragic end.
Yeah. I was surprised.
What about Lonnie Jung? So Lonnie,
I mean,
Lonnie got what he had coming.
Okay. I called that like the first time we met him. I was like, oh, I can tell you how he ends.
Yeah. Well, Lonnie he's a double agent. He hasn't, because a lot of people, I noticed a lot of reaction was, well, Lonnie, he killed Lonnie. Lonnie was on his side. Lonnie doesn't know whose side he's on. And let's not forget, he is bringing Luthen information under duress.
Yeah.
Luthen threatens his newborn child.
Right.
In season 1.
Yeah.
so let's not forget the assassin sent to take out Mothma was sent by Lonnie Young.
Yeah.
Like they repeated it multiple times so that you would get it.
Yeah.
He's still playing both sides as much as he can get away with.
Yeah. And he's an ISB agent. That's his job.
Right.
But
he has seen in his moment, I believe that he's earnest when he comes in and says, I'm done. Like I've seen what they're building.
Right.
And he's no longer okay with this.
Right.
But I knew the moment he's like, where will I go? And I knew the moment that Luthen said Yavin out loud that Lonnie was dead.
Yeah.
Because that was not, Luthen's not going to give you that information.
Yeah.
And then let you walk away.
I do feel like, like it did leave me wondering what happens to his wife. What happens to Mon Mothma's daughter. There are a lot of like auxiliary characters that I feel like, I mean, we did get an idea of what happened with Perrin.
A little bit. Like Perrin's with Skalden's wife, which indicates that something has likely happened to Skalden, whether he was rooted out as a co-conspirator of Mon Mothma, which was kind of an unspoken thing they had going on. But like,
I didn't feel like Skalden
he's not necessarily playing ball with the rebellion, but he's certainly playing under the table.
Yeah, he's definitely laundering her money.
Right. So it's definitely going to look so my assumption is, and there was a scene involving whatever happens there that was cut. We may or may not ever see that scene, but it seems that he was probably locked up or killed.
Yeah. He was really unlikable.
And I think the daughter is a totally inconsequential character. She has nothing for her mother. She just wants this aristocratic life.
Yeah.
She is, and this is what Perrin was. We've seen these aristocratic elites, especially on Coruscant. They really don't care who's in power. It only affects them so much. It just affects where their money's coming from.
Yeah.
And that's what she wants.
Yeah.
And because everything that Mon Mothma tries to tell her,
not interested.
She's firmly Perrin's child.
Yeah.
So I don't even know that we ever need to know anything else about that character.
Yeah. So, I mean, presumably, and that, you would assume that if somebody commits treason that loudly, usually in those kinds of regimes, everybody they're close to disappears. Yeah. But I'm assuming since Perrin still got his head, that she does too somewhere.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know if they'll give us any more info there. I don't know what the future for any of these characters are, but we left off with some interesting characters still around. I've always liked the Clea character, but she got her own episode. Episode 10, I believe, where we see her back. We finally learn her backstory. And learn about hers and Luthen's relationship and exactly what it is. And there's this thing where Luthen definitely sees her as a daughter, but he still can't, but not at the expense of the other things take precedent.
Yeah.
And as he tells her, the one thing that he is worried about is what he's doing to her.
But whenever there is somebody's going down, he knows somebody's going down. It's gonna be him or it's gonna be her. He makes sure it's him.
Right.
Which I think is, one of the few moments where we see that he has a heart.
Yeah, you don't get many. And I mean, it's a character that fully acknowledges that he can't. He's given up all of these things,
right,
for the movement. I loved the return of is it Nemec, his the one that wrote the manifesto.
Oh yeah.
And I love that where we see they're listening, the ISB agent is listening to it.
Yeah.
Which is just really, he knows what's coming. He's done. It's over. And in his like last moments, he's, I think, still trying to understand this drive of people where he clearly has all the advantages. And he's maybe just now beginning to understand what's driving his enemy.
Now, I did expect Clea to do something drastic. Like, I really expected her to like jump off a cliff or something.
I think she did. Well, I think she was prepared to do something drastic.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she did. Cassian stops her. And I love this when we kind of glossed over it a minute ago, the force healer. And I love this moment. Like, she calls Cassian a messenger. You know, he's building to a purpose. And it's interesting to me that the one that sees that, like, I think Luthen recognized the same thing about Cassian. And I think that Clea recognizes it when Cassian is the one that comes to save her.
She's like, oh yeah.
Of course it's you. Yeah.
I thought you were done. She just can't stop herself, can she? Like, here he's come, risk, the wrath of the Empire to come bail her butt out. And she's like, yeah, I thought you were finished with all this.
I love, so one of the things that, I love about Star Wars as a fantasy story, a fairy tale, is just the idea, because the idea of destiny only jives so much with science fiction, but with fantasy, it's everything.
Right. Yeah.
And it's this, the way the force is guiding Cassian on this journey to the point that this force user like can see it around him.
Yeah. You're an important piece of this puzzle.
Yeah. I mean, he is the piece. He's the messenger that brings hope to the rebellion. Like, we have a lot of other, players that play huge roles. I mean, this is not to discount Hera and the Ghost Crew or Ahsoka or the things that we know Leia's out there doing right now,
right?
Or even or Bail, even though I think Bail's playing a little bit of a coward at this exact moment. I don't know. Cassian is
he's a linchpin.
Yeah, absolutely.
For all of these things. Yeah.
For a number of occurrences. But the fact that he's at all of these important moments. And it's not just, so I love that they found a way to say it's not just story convenience that he's at these moments.
Right. Yeah.
He's carrying these events forward to something.
Yeah. He's not just there because the story needs him to be. He's there because he's making the story.
Right.
Yeah.
So I love this idea of, because if there is such a thing, so in this universe we have the living force. It's the one we talk about in the original movies. It's what binds the galaxy together, all living things. But the cosmic force, the idea of the cosmic force, which is something I love when Star Wars explores. It's one of the reasons I'm a huge Dave Filoni fan. And even if Dave makes mistakes going forward, Dave has done more to explore the cosmic force than pretty much anybody else. But when you say the cosmic force, it's this driving event. It's what's driving Cassian's destiny. Cassian is not just there. He's been chosen for this moment.
Yeah. He's there for such a time as this.
Yeah.
He's the person for the moment, and it'll be someone else next. But for today, he's the person.
Hey, Ganon. Thanks for joining us. We had a chat full a minute ago. I'm not sure who's still around. I blinked a minute ago and had like 20 messages I had to sort through. That's never. I don't know if that's ever happened in here before, but so I mean, honestly, I feel like we could spend, and we probably will spend a great deal more time tearing this season down as far as like delving into all the depths of it. But the tragic characters and Dedra and Cyril, um, his mother, it's like awful. She's awful, but she knows she hasn't even been told yet, and she knows what's happened.
Yeah, she is awful, but I hope she feels bad for all the mean things she said to him. He was awful too.
He was,
but you kind of start to understand some of his awfulness after you meet his mother. You're like, oh,
yeah. I mean, there's just Gannon says this season's thick. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I could probably spend the next 6 months dissecting this show.
What good writing though, man.
It's such good writing, but it builds. My concern with Andor was that it couldn't build the world. That it was just going to be dark and gritty, typical sci-fi drama. And then it wouldn't do anything to grow the world, but it really opens up so much. Even things we've heard about, like the Gorman massacre,
right?
And like bringing that to life.
So where's the Gorman massacre been discussed before?
I'm pretty sure Gorman is discussed in Rebels. Now there's two. I'm not talking about the thing with Tarkin. I think that was mentioned somewhere, maybe a book, something obscure.
Okay.
But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But
well, you knew that he had tried to land it on top of a group of people.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where I pulled that information from.
Yeah.
But we have heard about the Gorman massacre. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know where we've heard that. I want to say it's probably Rebels.
That makes sense, or it could have been Rogue One.
Yeah,
but yeah, the Gorman massacre was referenced in Legends. Okay, so it's something that's kind of been around.
Yeah,
kind of like the Bothans. Yeah, many Bothans died.
Yeah, well that's gonna be the next story. That's second Death Star. So
yeah, right.
The Manny Bothan story.
Yeah.
But sadly, we already know that Manny Bothans dies.
It's true.
But yeah, I want Tony Gilroy needs to stay connected to Star Wars in some way, shape, or form. This is it's too good to just like let him walk away without. I mean, honestly, at this point, somebody should turn around and say, what do you want to make next?
Yeah.
Like, go do something completely detached, because he kind of hinted at that, that, he liked the idea of, well, that's what he liked about Skeleton Crew, was getting to do something that was not necessarily connected to.
Honestly, do you remember that Star Wars Underworld series that they were talking about like 20 years ago?
Oh, the George Lucas show. That's actually been coming. I think some actual footage from that kind of came out recently. But that was one of the crazier things that George Lucas ever came up with, because I remember reading the old Star Wars magazines, the Star Wars Insider. Like, he wanted to like stockpile seasons of finished episodes before they started releasing it. And it's like, you're just going to spend all that money and not release it? Like, what are you? That's crazy.
Wow. But I think that Tony Gilroy could probably really do something with that concept.
Yeah. So this is one thing I'm seeing this a lot. And like, I'm all on board for Tony Gilroy to be doing Star Wars. But like I'll be honest, like the writing in Skeleton Crew, I mean, like top-notch Star Wars writing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel really, really fortunate as a Star Wars fan. Like, we really kind of like have had a rough few years. Um, this year's just been so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gannon says the same Star Wars Underworld show that has binders of scripts sitting on the shelves at Lucasfilm caked in dust. Yeah, I mean they were just writing math. They were producing scripts. There was so much. I would love to know, and I don't know if we would ever know if any of those scripts were recycled for Clone Wars.
Yeah, I kind of wonder. Like, I feel like maybe some of the Ventress stuff, maybe some of the Cad Bane stuff got used for that.
But yeah, that was he had this grand vision of producing the Star Wars show that would be
with movie quality
episodes.
He was 15 years too early.
Well, he was too early. But let's talk about another thing George Lucas was envisioning while they were in the process of doing this. I cannot find it. It's in my box of Star Wars Insiders in that closet over there. And one day I'm going to find this article because a lot of people seem to have forgotten this. Like 2001, 2000, somewhere right in there, George Lucas was talking about that he would soon be at the point where he could make live action Star Wars movies without actual actors.
Really?
Which is what we're like confronted with now.
Yeah. It seemed like a better idea when it wasn't actually a possibility. I mean, honestly, that would have been like George Lucas's dream. He was never good with the actors portion of his movies.
No. Let's see. Gannon says a good year for Star Wars, but I do wonder what's next for Lucasfilm Animation. The Maul stuff has been relatively quiet lately. Will we hear more on that soon? Maybe. I'm gonna be honest. I can't. It's hard to even keep tabs on what's going on with Lucasfilm. Honestly, I don't feel like we're going to see anything very significant in animation until Filoni's done with his movie.
Yeah, I think that's probably
it's either that or he's got to find somebody to. I mean, he's at a position now to find the person to take the reins, and I don't feel like they've gone out and found that person.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was laughing at
yeah.
Faster, more intense. Yeah. Sorry, I saw that.
But if you ever hear George Lucas out there bemoaning what AI will do to filmmaking, let's not forget he was advocating for it like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Over 20 years ago.
Before it was possible. But now it is. It's scary.
Yeah. He was convinced that he was going to get it there much quicker. And maybe he would have if he had really stayed in the business.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest, like George Lucas made the prequel movies and he quit and went home with his money.
If I made that much money, I'd probably quit and go home with my money too.
Yeah. But can AI, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if AI can say George's dialogue.
So bad.
George Lucas has a wonderful imagination.
Amazing world builder.
But
that fireside scene in episode 2 is literally one of the cringiest things ever written.
Yeah.
Ever. So bad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think, yeah, I always felt like he was struggling to figure out how this character, how Anakin in this moment where he's really unsure about everything would respond. And I maybe Hayden Christensen wasn't an experienced enough actor at that point to really, because sometimes I feel like you need the actor to find the the tone, and
Mhm.
maybe he wasn't, but it may just be that George just didn't allow it.
Yeah. I mean, everyone thought Natalie Portman was a terrible actor, and she's won like lots of awards
Yeah.
and all the things. So, all that to say.
Yeah. It's I always get a big kick out of hearing Harrison Ford talk about his conversations with George.
Yeah, because they're just like, I feel like Harrison Ford just doesn't like bullshit, and George Lucas really likes to hear himself talk.
Yeah, George is always actively thinking about his story.
Yeah.
And he has changed the
Mhm.
story as to how they got to the
Mhm.
finished product a number of times.
Yeah.
Either that or he just retells it from a certain point of view. I'm not sure
Right.
what's going on there, but like I think sometimes George is talking about like what they did, but he has a new idea and he inserts it into the conversation.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things that George has said have evolved over the years.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I guess I did realize Natalie Portman did Dior commercials. That's funny.
Yeah. Hey, I work on Dior commercials. Commercials pay so good.
That's what I hear. You haven't worked on any commercials yet.
They don't shoot a lot of commercials in Mississippi.
Well, they should. I don't know why they would. It doesn't make sense to shoot commercials in Mississippi.
No, not really.
They shoot a lot in New Orleans, though.
Mm-hmm. But they've got lots of people in New Orleans. They don't need me.
True.
Alas.
Yeah. You just like sneak in there.
I mean, yeah, maybe. That boo. That's great.
All right. So again, I think and I think we probably will come back for Coruscant Radio Underground and do some pick some characters, just do a full character study. But there's so much. But I love the show. And my one gripe with the whole season was that first episode. And it's really more about that moment. I feel like, with the sexual assault mention and all that. Was that an episode? Well, first arc. But I felt like, and I said it on the show when we reviewed that, I feel like when you start doing that, you're making Star Wars not special and just like every other drama out there.
Yeah.
So they really but it's that one moment, and that's not going to ruin a show for me. This show is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it really is.
I will be happily waiting to see what they give us for Andor physical media, because Andor, I believe, is the one thing they didn't give us in physical yet.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gannon says the sexual assault mention was way overblasted. I was really so worried. I was terrified. Like,
okay, because I watched it.
A big part of why I didn't start the show was because, like, I don't know if I want to encounter this because this is going to make me so mad that it's going to ruin the whole season. Well, and then we watched it, and I was like, oh.
Well, because I have watched it, and you asked me about it. You were like, "Did you get to the sexual assault scene?" And I was like,
"Well, I probably didn't say it like that."
Well, I mean, it was but you were like very offended, like, yeah. And I was like,
"Well, I was more curious because, like,
yeah,
there's so much rage bait, and there's so much looking for things to be enraged about that I was like, I don't know what to believe, but like I'm scared to watch it because like I'm scared I'm going to watch it." And I'm going to blow up about it.
Yeah.
And I watched it and went, I kind of hate that.
Yeah. But
oh, well, like,
yeah, like it wasn't graphic. It wasn't like anything that it was like, my 15-year-old can't watch this because it's, going to like corrupt her little innocence or something.
Yeah.
The
thing is, like, I'm all for people giving, I mean, again, I'm not a movie critic. I'm just giving you
Yeah.
my honest opinions on things here. Sometimes I love things, sometimes I hate things, and I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be honest about whether I loved or hated something.
Mm-hmm.
And and I get that's what I want everybody to do. Like I
Yeah.
want everybody to be able to do that, but there's so much that's just rage farming,
Yeah. I mean, people were the same way about
and it's
Mon Mothma
exhausting.
at the wedding. They were like, "Oh, aren't you glad you waited 30 years to see Mon Mothma get drunk off of her mind
I
and
love
dance
that.
at
And
a disco?"
we got like an EDM bot. Like
I mean, here's the thing, like, we've always had, like, different weird kind of music happening in Star Wars. Like, I bought that.
yeah. So Gain said I saw that scene. I was like, oh, so this is leading up to the actual bad scene everybody was talking about, and then that hypothetical scene. Yeah. Same here. I was like,
I don't love it.
I didn't love that they did any of it in a Star Wars show, but it was really a big nothing
Mhm.
compared to what people were trying to make it out to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, even after that episode, I was like, is there still something that's going to happen to Bix? And I was like, nothing ever did. I was like, oh, I guess this was just like it was just an excuse to be really angry about a really, really amazing TV show that I can't imagine. Like, unless you wanted to say, like, if my kids were watching it and said, this is kind of boring, I'd be like, yeah, like maybe you're not ready for like to follow like the conversations and the
Mhm.
more cerebral parts of what's happening.
Yeah.
But like I felt like if that was the moment, Mon Mothma dancing at a party, like
Mhm.
if these are the things that we're having to like reach for to be really angry about a Star Wars show,
Mhm.
we're trying too hard.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I didn't like the scene, but after I saw it, afterwards, I was like, well,
And it does, the thing is, it does contribute to Bix's arc.
right.
Right.
Because,
That's
well,
one of the
Bix is the
things.
mirror of Cyril and Dedra.
Yeah.
And that, like, they're all going through it.
Mhm.
Everybody's going through it.
Mhm.
But, what happened, Dedra and Cyril end up being these tragic characters.
Mhm.
And then the ISB, the guy that's over them.
Poltergeist.
Yeah. Like,
Poltergeist.
it ends up being a pretty tragic character.
Yeah.
But then you have Clea and Bix coming out the other side
Mhm.
with new sense of purpose.
Yes.
And so that's a really nice
Mhm.
contrast.
Yeah. If
And
everybody
Bix
had,
can't come out the other side squeaky clean with a perfect story. So
Mhm.
not that I feel like she had enough bad things
Yeah.
happen to her
Yeah.
that you didn't necessarily need that.
Yeah.
But it's over, it's done. I was actually more irritated. With the actress at the end of the day,
Yeah.
talking about how proud she was to be the first person to say that word in Star Wars. I was like, really?
Yeah.
That's what we're proud of? You played a really great character, and that's what you're proud of.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know what your motivation as a human being is now.
Yeah.
Like, not your character. Your character's great. But like,
Right.
as a person, like, what are you about? And now
Yeah.
I'm,
Like, I really just expected Bix to be like, they're going to build her up, and get her more involved in Cassian's life, and then she dies. Like, that's what I thought her arc was. And so was really surprised whenever that's not the direction they went.
Yeah.
So, pleasantly surprised, because, I mean, let's not kid ourselves. That trope has been done a lot. So much. Woman as motivation for man's, death of woman as motivation for man's going crazy and going on a vengeance spree.
But it's phenomenal storytelling.
Yeah, it
Star
really is.
Wars or otherwise,
Mhm.
this is just a phenomenal piece of storytelling.
Yeah.
All the people that made Star Wars this year need to make more.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that we've gone a lot longer than I expected to go on Andor. So maybe we will leave the Superman conversation for another day. Like maybe tomorrow. Like maybe tomorrow we'll come back and talk a little Superman.
Yeah.
Just Superman.
Yeah.
But as previously mentioned, David's coming back next week, and he actually even I think he said he would do YouTube.
Yeah, he did.
So I don't know if he'll really be on screen or if we'll just have like a we'll have to like have some sort of stand-in picture for David over here in the corner. I don't know. I'm not sure what we're doing, but
Yeah.
David is coming back to talk Superman. I'm really excited to talk about it. You have any final thoughts?
Oh, I love Superman. I'm really excited to talk about it too.
You got any final thoughts on Andor before we wrap up?
Andor.
I was just saying we'll talk
Yeah.
Superman. We're gonna hold our full review for next week when
Yeah.
David is back. But we'll probably get on and talk a little Superman before then. We'll just probably withhold our
Yeah.
full thoughts until we record with David.
Yeah, it was good. I loved that they managed to tell such a gritty, down to earth story. And I mean, the thing is, we know that Cassian is like, by this point, he's at the point where he shoots his informant. Because he, like he's that person at the beginning of Rogue One. And we know that that's the person that he is, but it still managed to tell such a compelling story, which I just loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, solid, great character driven story. Some of the most character driven stuff we've ever had in Star Wars, maybe the most character driven stuff we've ever had in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I really think launches Cassian Andor into a much higher position in the hierarchy of great Star Wars characters. Like I would actually be really curious. Like, like I said, I was saying earlier, I always got the Star Wars Insider. And seemed like all the time they were running a who's your favorite Star Wars character poll.
Yeah.
And it was always Han Solo, Luke Skywalker. Han would always just edge out Luke. And I really, but they'd have more of a list. They'd have like your top, the top 10 answers. And I would really love to see where some of these characters rank now. Because for me, this moves Cassian way up my list. Like I liked Cassian in Rogue One. But like Cassian wasn't the kind of character who was like all of a sudden, like he's absolutely one of my absolute favorite Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
But now he kind of is.
Yeah. He moved up the totem pole for sure.
I mean, let's be honest, as far as characters on screen, he's one of the most well-rounded characters we have.
Yeah.
Like in some ways, he's even more well-rounded as a character in what we've seen, not overall, not with all the extra stuff we've gotten over the years, but with what we've seen on screen. Like one of, if not the most well-rounded character we've seen.
Yeah. So I'm with Gannon here. Went from why give us a show about a character hardly anyone cares about after the box office bomb of Solo to wow, this is way more than we deserved. And I kind of like whenever they're like, we're making an Andor show, I was like, hip hip hooray.
Yeah.
I mean,
I knew it could be good, but like I didn't know it could be this good.
Yeah. I was intrigued by the like spy angle, but then they started the show and I was like, this isn't a spy show.
Well, it is, but it's so much more.
It wasn't. The first couple of episodes of season 1 really were not so much. At least I didn't feel like they were. And then it just has
no, because we had to get there, and we really we didn't get to that real point till the end. Right. Season 2 is a spy show.
Yeah, for sure. But the initial like, why are we doing this? To get into the end of me being like, wow, it's one of my favorite things.
Right. Now we should also mention, it's worth mentioning that it was originally envisioned as one 24 episode season of TV.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It was envisioned as a full traditional length TV series. And for one reason or another, somewhere along the way, they decided to release it in multiple parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Gannon says, I still think Lucasfilm has a problem focusing on their main characters. Andor was good, but I also feel like half of the episodes aren't directly tied. Yeah, I mean, that's certainly true. I do feel like Andor is the torchbearer for the events of the series, but I also feel like that Clea episode, we needed that.
We did, yeah.
Because otherwise we really didn't have any. We didn't really have any reason to. I think it would have been unsure how to feel about her character when she goes in, kills Luthen, and then you start going, well, she was fine as a character, but we don't know anything about her. But yeah,
I feel like it also gave Luthen a little more depth. You know, like it makes the fact that he's going a little more tragic.
Well, to see him a little before he's fully enveloped in this character he becomes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those certainly could have been separate series, but I don't know. I feel like as a whole series, like it works really, really well.
And they did a good job balancing the elements. Because honestly, I feel like if everything had just been Cassian the whole time, I would have gotten a little over it. Like, I feel like they needed to kind of balance some of the things that were happening.
Yeah. Now, I mean, there are other stories in here to be told, and
yeah, for sure.
And there are other spy stories in here to be told. There's still a whole bunch of stuff, and I don't know, maybe too much Saw would not be a good thing.
No, I don't think so.
Man, Saw's crazy.
Saw is. Yeah, straight up.
But I feel like
I was so glad we finally got some K2 though. I love me some K2.
Yeah. Anyway, I felt like overall this is just an extraordinarily well constructed TV show.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, I think we're going to leave it there. Because like I said, I think I could go on and on about this for a good long while.
And Marisha drove all day and she's about to turn into a
pumpkin. I think some character studies from this could be fun down the road. And of course, you know, I will be waiting anxiously to find out that Tony Gilroy is doing anything in Star Wars again.
Yeah.
But anyway, we will be back later this week, maybe tomorrow, probably tomorrow, to talk Superman. So stay tuned for that. And thank you very, very much. Let's see. Want to mention this comment. Saw Gerrera was handled perfectly. Perfect title. Rebels, Rogue One, Rebel Rising. Yeah. Such a good character. I think too much would not be good, but like,
yeah, I mean, I could
super
get tired
interesting
of it.
Character and shows the far edge of kind of the dark side of what the rebellion could become.
Yeah.
So, hey there, sci-fi fans. We hope you enjoyed this clip from a previous live stream of the Science Fictionary podcast. We hope you'll go check out other episodes. We hope you'll hit that like and that subscribe button. And please go check out all of our friends over at the Red 5 Network. And as always, may the Force be with you.